G'day, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're back on the VG, and we've got some tubbage. Let me show you what I've been doing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Old school only is go.
So I left you last video with this side sort of half done, but we've gone ahead and welded up all of it. Everything's been sorted out. I've still got to tie in these areas and where the roof comes down, but I'm not going to do that until I've made sure that we've got this in the right position. But to do a lot of this stuff, this being here is going to be in the way. So the plan is now is to cut my piece that goes in here the exact right shape. So when I do go to weld it in, it's in the right place, but I'll also know where I need to tie this across, you know, to make sure that these are all welded in the right spot, if that makes sense. Anyway, you'll see what I'm doing, but that's what we're going to do today. So another thing I've done, I've drilled out all the spot welds, so all this is going to line up and meet up just nice. We've just got to make sure we get this part right, really. That's the challenge, and then we can work on what we're going to do down here. So I was sitting back last night after I drilled out all these spot welds, wondering how am I going to get this right. I don't want to guess it, because whenever you guess stuff, it's never going to be right. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I've got a template. So what I'm going to do is get the old piece and cut it up into pieces that I can use to lay over the top and give me a better idea of where I need to cut. And the idea is I'm going to make it bigger and then get it all sitting in the right spot, and then hopefully it'll work out where I can just cut through both panels and then everything's lining up. So let's go and find that other piece and start cutting that up. So yeah, here are my templates. I'll know exactly where I've got to cut. So I'll get rid of probably down here, and then everything underneath it might be in the way, so I can lay over the top. Do that on both sides. But that's an exact match to what I need to make. Might need a new blade. we're in, kinda. We're sitting in the right spots. I haven't trimmed these out yet. That'll come later, but we're in. So the next job now is to go and grab my boot lid, do a quick test fit, and then we've got to pull this back out. There's a lot of prep I've got to do on this panel, including the boot hinges. But I want to rust proof the bottom of it with some 415 before I weld it in. But yeah, let's go and get that boot lid and see if we're on the right track, huh? Well, kind of good. I'm pretty happy with that. I can adjust that gap as we weld it in, but there, very happy. Looking like a car again. So while this is all clamped up, I'm going to start welding up what I can reach, just to give it that bit more rigidity before I take everything off again. Then I can finish off all the bracing that I need to do. So I've done a little bit of goodness on both sides, there and up there, which will keep me in place for the time being. It's amazing how much more solid, is that even a word? Much more solid the car feels, just for that stuff just tied in. So as we go, we'll build it up again and give it all its strength back. Righto, had a bit of a break, same day, just getting dark outside. I've got the barbie on, gonna cook up some steak. Oh yeah. I won an awesome meat tray the other day, which I need to cook before it's no good. So I'm chucking the rest of that on there. And I need to take this rear panel off now and we'll prep it for installing it. So I'm gonna clean it, get all that, what did I throw on there? Linseed oil, whatever it was I chucked on there. Clean that. I want to pour 15 underneath, and I also want to weld on those hinges, and then we can chuck it in. So let's start doing that. Righto, so I've given that a good degrease and a hose down and a clean. It's going to need a whizzle later. We'll get it cleaned up properly, but for now that's good. It's drying, but in the meantime we can start working on these hinges and get this sorted out. One of the things I've got to do to this is knock these off because we're wider here now. We'll take that off and we'll modify whatever we need to modify to get that connected back to this, but we definitely don't need all of that. But I think my steak's ready, so time to eat. Hey Bizer, dirty thumbs up, mate. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So I finished tying the B-pillars back down to the wheel tubs, and I also mounted my hinges onto this back parcel shelf area. So the next job I want to do, and it'll probably be the last job tonight, is hit this thing with some POR15, which is like a rust inhibitor paint, just to stop it in its tracks so it doesn't get any worse. And then we'll let that dry overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow afternoon when I'm back home and fit this thing in. Righto, that's done. That's all I wanted to do. We'll be here tomorrow afternoon. G'day. It's a couple of days later. I didn't get a chance to come out here yesterday, but today I want to drag it out a little bit so I've got a little bit better ventilation while I'm welding all this up. And we'll eventually have it all the way out so I can give it a good clean, and we can start painting the insides of things. So yeah, let's get it going. So we're halfway out the door, got the fan going, and the first job I want to get into right now is cleaning these edges up so we can weld this piece in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both the car and the panel. We'll fit the panel in, we'll chuck the boot on its hinges, make sure it all lines up, and then we can start tacking it in. tacked in all four corners. Now it's time to cut the outsides, tack that in, and then we can start, you know, zzz, zzz, zzz. All happily tacked in here. Let's get to the other side. I'll just give you a quick look at this one before I weld it up, because it came out pretty good. This is what you want. You want the width of the cutter, which is like, I don't know, just over a millimetre gap. You don't want it to touch because you want decent penetration. So that is decent gap all the way around, and it's sitting quite nice actually, so that's going to weld up really good. Beautiful. Righto, parcel shelves all welded up. I've double tacked both sides of this, letting it cool down, and now it's time to stick the boot on. Pretty good for a buff head. This side's welded up. It's getting dark outside, and without my fancy big light, which is hanging up over there, it's very hard to see. So now I'm just gonna drag it outside so it's out there, and I can start cleaning it up. Do a bit of grinding. I wanna do some painting, pressure wash everything. So yeah, get it out and clean it up. There you go, we're out. Gives me a chance to clean up. Wow, don't do that much. So much room for activities. Really need to hook into this again soon. Ah, what a beautiful sight. You gotta love it when your backyard looks like a wrecking yard. So cool. That trana could have been there for years. Anyhow, we're back into it. I haven't been feeling the best this week, but yeah, I might get into welding this section up, make sure that's all done. I need to get some angle iron for there, whether I make a piece or I've got a bit laying around, otherwise I'll shoot up the street. And then put the bracing in the back. And I also want to get the vacuum out, vacuum all this out. And we'll give it a hose out as well, I think, with a pressure washer. It probably won't be the last time that happens, but just to clean it up and stop any extra rusting and stuff to go on. So anyhow, let's get into it. Got something exciting to show you for the four of you that hang around. Yeah, hang around and have a look. All welded in. The only thing I can't do at the moment is put my pieces in the back here because I don't have a bit of angle that's appropriate for the job, so we can do that later. I think now we'll just clean all this up, get the vacuum cleaner and give it a pressure wash. I'll grind this up later. That's all vacuumed out. Look how good the floors are. Perfect. Unbelievable. It's a shame it was cut up, but we're getting back to how it was. I'm not going to pressure wash it yet. I'll keep the water out of it until I finish grinding because I've got a lot of grinding to do. And then we can pressure wash it and start painting everything. I did find a spot here that I'd forgotten about, just in the passenger side. So I'm going to fix that up now while I'm thinking about it. Nice easy repair. And then get into grinding this stuff. Sorted. So I'm running out of light, running out of flapper discs, running out of batteries. That's why I was using my old 4-inch so I could plug it in. But yeah, it's looking good. A lot more work to do on that yet, but just a little bit at a time makes me happy. I'm pretty knackered, so that'll probably do me for today, unless I change my mind and come back down and work on the Harley. Be nice to get some of that done, but I'm pretty tired and I've got a bit of a headache. So we'll see how we go. Back in the shed, thought I'd do a little bit on the Harley. But first of all, I wanted to show you that I have hoodies in stock. Not a lot, very, very limited. First in gets them. See how we go with those. If they're popular, I'll do some more. Check it out on the website. Second of all, new beanies. These beanies are heaps better than I expected. They're embroidered. They're made by 3M. They're thin shillet, very high quality beanie. So that'll keep you warm, whatever you're doing. Wait, there's more. I have Nugget, old school only long sleeve tees. These are made by Gildan. So is the hoodie. Same quality as the t-shirts. Am I an awesome model or what? But yeah, these are available. Same thing, limited numbers. I just buy stock that I can afford and hopefully turn them over so I can get more. And I've restocked these guys. Some of these are back in stock, not big numbers either. I've just got a variety on the store at the moment. I don't expect stuff to last because nothing has been lasting. But yeah, old school only shirts, they're available again, the original ones. Stickers. I now have these for sale. The old school only Nugget sticker. I have restocked the old school only logo. And I have a big stack of It Ain't Weak to Speak old school only stickers to raise awareness for men's mental health. 100% of the sales of these stickers, including what it cost me, this sticker, goes straight to Black Dog, to my Black Dog page. So we've raised 500 and something bucks. I want to hit 1,000. So get into those. Now, as far as this Harley goes, I haven't touched it since the last time I showed you guys on video, however many episodes ago. I really need to make a list of what to do, but it was a spur of the moment thing. I thought, you know what, yeah, let's come down and do some work on the Harley. What am I going to do? I'm busting to put my, where are they? I'm busting to put my shovel head rocker boxes on. I need to pull it apart to see what I need because they didn't come with gaskets. Do I need a gasket or is there a rubber O-ring? I can't remember. It's been a while since I pulled one of these apart. We'll work that out. Why don't we take this fuel tank off and see if we can get one of these covers off and see what I need to get to mount these new rocker boxes. I don't know what to do with this gold piece. We'll see what it's like to get off anyway. It's been a while since I've worked on one of these things. It should just slip off. Okay, do the front one. There's my little blower. This little blower has been the best thing. There it is. Oh, that's crazy. Come on. Crazy, crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Let's see. I have a feeling they're an O-ring, but I can't quite remember. There's the O-ring or the gasket. I've got a feeling that's all I'm going to be replacing, and that's going to stay there. I'm pretty sure we're right about that. What have we got? What's all these little holes for? What's all this rubbish for here? Kidding, aren't you? Why? Looks alright. I should leave it like that. That'd freak people out a little bit. But that looks good. So it covers that gold portion on this side. It doesn't cover it on the other side, but it's not super noticeable over there from memory because it's all hidden under the tank and stuff. So I might just leave it on there. I was thinking about wire brushing it off, but we've got little bits of gold on the bike anyway. But yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. I don't know what that's for. Unless it replicates something on a shovel head. Or it's just a locator, but why? And why are all these other little holes here? What is the go with that? I'll have to fill all them in with the grub screw or something. While we're at it, I might as well take this one off, swap it over. I'm not going to bolt them down tonight because I've got to work out what I need to do with these holes. But it's progress on the bike, and that's a pretty simple job. So let's go.
Under the right hand, a beautiful shot pass. Never relies away. Hammers on the inside. Comes to Edwards. Gets into the hammer. Goes for the line. Gets number 2.
So you'd think there'd be shorter bolts on the other side rocker cover because I've just bottomed them out, hitting the frame. So that means now I've got to lower the motor just to get that off. Now I'm going to assume that from factory they had shorter bolts, because I've done this before and I've not had to drop the motor. So this motor was built outside of the frame, put back in, and it's got the wrong bolts. So let's drop maybe the front of the motor, see how we go. Can we do it? So, yep. Come on. Oh, it didn't drop much. We could probably persuade it, but oh, it dropped a bit up there. Might have done it. Get this off. Come on. Save that rubber gasket. Still very rubbery. It'll be fine. Come on. Come on then. Oh, we'll stick it on there for now. We'll work out that other stuff another time. Very cool. I've got to put the bolts in there. Need the Loctite them in. These are loose too. But yeah, they're just where are you? Oh, look what I found! All those little bolts. I don't know why they're even necessary. Maybe it's a shovel head thing. Don't know. But I've got the bolts. Now these, they're just alloy threaded covers and they slip in there like that. But I'm going to have to Loctite those because there's no actual head in there. It's just finger tight. So Loctite will hold that in. Do all four, and then I'm assuming these guys can get Loctited. I don't know why we need them, but can get Loctited in the top of the rocker box cover up here for some reason or another. Yep, they're going to fit in there just fine. Now you can't tell me that doesn't look sexy. That looks unreal. Let's put the tank back on. Check it out. Oh, yeah, how cool. That looks unreal. Well, that'll do me for tonight. Don't need anything for those rocker boxes, so I can pretty much Loctite that stuff and just bolt them down. So that'll be done. That's nice and easy. What else do I need? I need a front caliper bracket for the Springer front end. I'm having trouble finding one the right size. It's not $1,000. I could possibly get one made, but yeah, I can't find one to suit the twin piston caliper that I've got. This guy here, unless I go for a different caliper, but I'd rather not, but I might have to. Anyway, anyone's got any ideas, let me know. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the wrap up of this episode on the VG Hardtop. Righto, it's the next day, it's Friday. Just back from the hardware. First thing I want to do today is give this a bit of a clean so I can paint it. I'm just going to paint this black in here. I'll leave that blue, but everything else I'm just going to paint black. I know they were the colour of the car, but we're not painting this the colour of the car anyway, so just going to do it in black. So degrease, pressure wash, let it dry, and we'll come back and then we'll paint it. Righto, we're ground down. I do got to do some planishing on there, which is to be expected, but it's come up pretty good. I've also got my piece of angle. Unfortunately, all I had was gal again, but I'm just going to have to clean it up and weld it on. Well, that's most of the way in. I've just got to make up my plates for here. But before I close that in, I need to seal up the outsides of these wheel tubs. So I need to be able to get my hand in there to do that. So I'll do that before I do those last bits. But that's coming up good. Just a quick reach out. If anyone has a good passenger side front guard, I would be inclined to change it if I can get one at the right price. This thing's very, very thin across the top. I've been digging around. Where are you? There's multiple holes, and I know that if I go to repair it, it's just going to keep on keeping on. Yeah, she's pretty crusty. So anyway, if someone can help me out. Well, I'm over it. It's getting in the afternoon here on Friday. I have got a lot to do before I upload this thing. So I've got to get all my merch on the website, all the new stuff. I've got to edit this, download it, upload it, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to call it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a bit longer than the other ones, but hey, we got the Harley in there as well, so that's pretty cool. Grab some merch, grab some It's Not Weak to Speak stickers so we can raise some money for men's mental health. And as usual, a portion of every sale, regardless of what you buy, goes towards the Black Dog Fund as well. So yeah, we're going to smash $1,000. It's pretty cool. Anyway, that's it from me. Stay tuned, be good to your mates, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. And before I forget, to the 4 of you guys that made it to the end, you guys are champions. Awesome foursome. Thank you very much. See you next time.